Okay, Jake, tell us a little bit about what Empire Report is and why you think websites like Empire Report matter.
Well, Empire Report is a website, first and foremost, that's intended to bring people together around the concept of a community that freely shares information amongst one another. And I think the impetus for starting Empire Report a year and a half ago had everything to do with the enormous doldrum that press in general, that news and media had sort of sunk into. And having lived in the North Bay almost all my life, I love my news, and I know that there are a lot of people like me who love news and information and their community. And I realized that there was a big part of news and the community that was missing, and that was, there are a lot of different parts, but one of the most important ones for me anyway was the capacity to be in the role of an ombudsman for a community, to sort of shine a flashlight in some of the darkest crevices and show people what's really going on, and to bring important information to the light of day. And I think that that is the pillar of journalism, is that kind of accountability journalism or investigative journalism, and it had largely gone away. It's pretty rare now that our local media organizations have the ability, let alone the capacity, but the ability financially to put the kind of money into a project like an investigative piece to get to the bottom of something, anything.
Would you agree that in part it makes it easier for, I'll say, community voices that might not make it into the news, they now can do so?
Right. I think that there's so many struggles that are going on right now with news and information, and it's not something that's unique to the North Bay or to Santa Rosa or Sonoma County or to Marin. It's happening everywhere. It's happening everywhere, not just in the United States, it's happening in Canada, it's happening in Europe, it's happening all over the place, and it's really too bad. And what's missing is a mechanism for people to share information and collaborate. And the lines are getting really blurry. That the big discussion, one of the big discussions amongst journalists and editors and news organizations is, what the hell do we do with these bloggers? There's so many bloggers, there's so much misinformation, there's so many people who are writing about stuff who know not what they speak. And, some of them, but a lot of them are also great. A lot of them just don't happen to be on the press payroll, but they're far more knowledgeable than the people who are. And they're bloggers, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad, or maybe they just consider themselves writers, or whatever the case is, and they don't have an outlet. And so the fact that the lines are so blurry right now between what a professional journalist is and what a member of the public who happens to have a passion for city council and planning and development and strategic and green and whatever else it is that their passion is, they don't have an outlet. They don't have a way to do it except for a letter to the editor in a newspaper whose distribution is diminishing. Sort of with, for lack of a better way to put it, with the death rate. That I think is another really important part of Empire Report, is giving people a soapbox.
And why do you think that matters? Why do you think this soapbox is important?
Well, there's lots of reasons, but I think in a nutshell, one of the biggest reasons has to do with the emergent outward focus that I think people are starting to sense, that over the course of the last decade or two, there's been, at least, many people agree, myself included, that there's been a very perceptible inward focus on family and home and big screen television and and the internet and all the time-consuming things that keep us in our houses. And suddenly, I think there's been this, I'd call it the economy, whatever it is. There's becoming to be more of an outward focus on people really being interested, genuinely interested in being a part of their community and creating community and participating in the block party and the barbecue and the neighborhood organization and making sure that their city council is actually doing what they want them to do. And it's happening, it's happening between neighbors, and it's happening between the ma and pa bike shop down the street and me. And that's something that isn't really being harnessed anywhere. And I think it's important because it gives people the capacity. Empire Report, as just one example, of this community journalism, allows people to talk to one another and share information.